Welcome to DC Weddings with Jillian. Today we have Denise Sarpong-Johnson of UMBER Bride and Groom and Events, and you are going to be surprised by the very unique processes that she has to share with her brides and grooms, things that you won't get with any other wedding planner in the DC metro area. So here we are, Denise Sarpong-Johnson. Hello again. This is Jillian with Caribbean Caterers. Welcome to DC Weddings with Jillian. I have a special treat for us here. We have today the indomitable Denise Sarpong Johnson, and she is the owner director of Umber Bride and Groom and Events, and she is an event planner here in the DC area, and she also is a calligrapher. So, hi Denise.
Hi, everybody.
It is a pleasure to chat with you and to bring to our audience all of the great things that I know you do for your clients. So we're just going to have a little chit chat about what you do for your clients. I'm just going to lead with a few questions, but as we always do as we chat, just tell us what you would like us to know about you and your business. So, how did your journey, particularly in the wedding industry, begin?
Oh, wow. When I was planning my wedding I got married in 2011, there was no Pinterest, right? So I had to look through magazines, blogs, things like that to get ideas about gowns that I wanted, tuxes, things like that. And while I was browsing, I didn't see images that had me in them or my husband in them. And so that got me to thinking, I'm like, why don't I see more people like me? And that really bothered me as I got closer to my wedding. So after I got married, I decided, you know what? I'm going to try to do something about it. So I decided that I was going to learn everything and anything having to do with weddings. And I learned all the etiquette, the do's and don'ts, and planning, timeline, all the things. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to be a blogger? Am I going to be, what am I going to do? So I decided to be a planner because I wanted people who were deciding to get married to see more people like me in the industry. And if more people like me came into the industry, then we would see more people being published or on blogs and things like that. So that's why I started.
Very good. You found a need in the market and you filled it. Fantastic. So tell me about now that you then got into this wedding industry sort of by default from planning your own wedding. What now? You've been doing this for what, 10, 12, almost 12 years now? What
Yes, yes.
what about this wedding industry that brings you joy?
Oh my God. Even after all these years, what I love the most is when I see the bride procession in or enter the space and the look in her eyes and the look in the her partner's eyes as they join eye contact. And every time I see this, I cry. I try not to show, a lot of tears, but it always tears me up. So just that act of so much love between the two, especially when it exudes from them, it just brings me so much joy to finally see them become one. So that's my best part.
Fantastic. So let's stay there for a moment. What do you do if you can pinpoint some things that you do in your business for your brides and grooms that help bring them to that moment?
My motto for my business is enjoy your moment and enjoy the experience. So from day one, I want my couples to be relaxed. I want them to enjoy it, to savor every moment, good and bad, because there's some bad stuff that happens. There's some stressful things that happens, but in between all of that, and even as it's going on, there are moments that you'll never get to repeat again. Hopefully not. And I always tell them, take the time to just take it all in. When you go and pick that dress out, those shoes, when you have the different parties and events with your family and your friends, and when you're talking to them, just savor those moments. And then, especially on the day, I don't care how you're feeling, just sit back and try to think, just sit back and just try to look around you for a moment and take it all in. Because again, it will never happen again. If you do that, if you just start thinking about that, by the time your day comes, then you'll decide, you'll take that moment, even if it's 1 minute, and just look around you and like, oh my God. So I always, that's my thing. I want people to enjoy it, not to just go through the motions. And then they're like, oh my God, it's over. What's next? I don't remember anything. So enjoy your moment and enjoy the experience.
Fantastic. And so tell me about some of your favorite couples and you gave that one moment when they look into your eyes and they have that moment. And I know for most of us in the wedding industry, we really can't pinpoint a favorite couple because there's so many of them. But maybe a special thing that happened that kind of encapsulated what you want to do for your wedding, or maybe something unique that you've never experienced before that you can bring to the table for your clients. Have you experienced anything like that with any of the weddings that you have planned?
I think the best moment I had was with a client, with a couple. This was in 2018. And it was a regular wedding or an event. Um, they were super nice. They were a really sweet couple. That was different. But I think 1 or 2 weeks before their big day, um, the bride pulls me aside and she says, as you know, I'm pregnant. And I actually didn't really know, I couldn't tell. But then when she said it, it confirmed it because I didn't want to ask her. So, as you know, I'm pregnant and, we're having a baby. And what I want to do, I just decided to do a reveal. I'm like, what? Okay. And this is like 1 or 2 weeks before the wedding. And I'm like, okay. And she said, and on top of that, it's a surprise for everyone, including him. And I'm like, okay. So I usually work with my sister, and I'm the organizer, the planner. I give some ideas for design, but she's the designer, and she's the one that stays more calm, I think, than I do. So I told her everything, and I'm like, okay, I want you to take that envelope, and I want you to hold it. I want you. It was two actually. I want you to take care of it. I want you to hold it, and you give me the one that I need to give to her. Because I didn't want to mess it up. But it was so awesome. People were so freaking surprised. They're like, "Oh my God, a reveal, and it's a girl!" And it was the most beautiful moment. So I don't think it was so much that it was a reveal. It was that it was a surprise for everyone, and I had to keep it a surprise. And I'm the one that known in my family for kind of it slips out sometimes. So, but it was precious. Jamaica and Noel, they were a really cool couple. And for them to make me a part of their surprise reveal, for her to do that was super awesome.
Fantastic. Talk about moments that you make, memorable moments forever and ever, correct? That you
You're
make with
right.
your,
I mean, it was awesome.
yes, and to be a part of that is super, super special. Fantastic. Wonderful, my dear. So, we've just, I would like to say, have come through the pandemic. We're still dealing with some things, but we've come through the heavy part, and we've all had to make lots of changes.
Right.
Um, can you tell us about a change that you have made in your business model to help serve your clients better?
One one thing that I've done just like everyone else, well, I won't say everyone, but in order to protect myself and my company, and also to keep the couple informed on what's going on as far as the protocols are concerned, I made sure to include that in the contract, a paragraph about making that I'm, watching and keeping track of the protocol for the DC area. I mean, in our area, we have to know what's going on in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, on top of the local or county protocols. So it's like a juggling game, especially back in 21. It was a little crazy, but that was a way of them feeling confident that I'm aware, that I'm informed, and I'm keeping them informed, because it allowed them to make better decisions, especially when it came to, whether you want to enforce mask or not, whether you want to have a buffet versus a plated meal. And if you decide on buffet, which was the preferred method, then what's the best way to actually serve? Allow them to hold the handle, which sometimes we do, or them be served. So, one thing I did was, it was a juggling act, but to stay informed on all those different guidelines that were pushed down at the federal, state, and local levels. And a lot of them appreciated it because they didn't have to do it. I took care of that for them.
Fantastic, fantastic. So hopefully we're on the other side of that, and that has slowed down a little bit, and people can relax a little bit more. So if you had to give one tip, and we're still talking weddings here, to a couple, you had to give one tip to them about working with you, something that they should know or something that you would want to inform them about before working with you, what might that be?
The one tip would be to have more than one date in mind. A
Mm.
lot of times, by the time I get to clients in different, sometimes it's 6 months, 8 months, sometimes it's, a couple of years away from their date. But there, some couples are so honed in on this one date because it's special and it means something, it's momentous, but they also want this certain venue. And when they don't collide, when they don't meet, then they're like, oh my God, now what am I going to do? So before they go to that meeting, they need to have at least two dates in mind in case the one that they prefer doesn't work out. And most people that that come to me, by the time they come to me, they find, oh, I can't. They tell me the stories. I had to switch maybe a couple of times, or I really wanted this venue, but they didn't have the date, and I didn't know what to do. So always have at least two dates in mind, so that you can be more prepared when you try to do your research for your venue.
Sick. So I happen to know that you do other things for your brides and grooms other than wedding and event planning. Tell us about some of your other skills.
Oh, that is my line of service for providing calligraphy services. So because of the pandemic, a lot of people, that work wasn't consistent for a lot of us back in 2020, and some for even 2021. So I decided to try to come up with another line of service just to fill in that gap. And I'm an avid calligrapher for years. I was doing it, for me, and learning all about it, but then decided, okay, maybe I should add this as a paid service. And so that's what I did. So what I do, my focus is on signage. So I create different types of signs using different mediums: wood, mirror, ornate, casual, acrylic, any surface that you think you need for your particular event. I provide the materials, or the client can provide it, and I hand letter welcome signs, seating charts, anything you might need, is when it comes to signage throughout your event. Escort cards, escort displays, anything that needs lettering. One thing that people don't realize, and what they're finding, is that personalization. When someone sees their name on something, not printed by a machine, but hand lettered, then it makes it even more special, and it makes your space even more special. So that's
Oh,
one of the things I offer. It's kind of odd when I tell people that I do that. You also do that? Oh my God, it's so pretty. But that's what makes me different and unique from other people in the same field.
fantastic. And your point about personalization of not just a printed in handwriting sort of script, but that you can tell that it is actually handwritten does make a difference to guests. And then they keep, we've all been to the event with the favors that you throw out. You keep them around for a little while and then you throw them out. But once your name is on something handwritten, you tend to keep it, and you have that memory from your client's wedding. So that serves your client really well, and then serves your client's guests really well. So I don't find it odd at all. I find it a very natural sort of extension, and then something that's extra special that you can offer your brides and grooms that they can't get with another elsewhere with another wedding planner. They have to hire another service to do that. So that is wonderful. Yes, fantastic. All right. Any parting words? What would you like our audience to know about you, Denise Sarpong-Johnson, and Umber Bride and Groom and Events? Is there something other than what we've talked about that you would just want people to know about you and working with you?
Just know, well, one thing that also makes me different, and I think that will allow your event to go smoother, is that I use a paperless process where everything I do is on my device. I don't like having paper and clipboards and big laptops, because they get lost and you end up with paper everywhere. But throughout the entire process, it's paperless. We're working with files, we're working in a system where you can keep everything in one place. And even on the day of, when you get a timeline from me, it's totally paperless. So that's the one thing that I would say about Umber Bride and Groom and events.
Fantastic. And, there are little things that people may take for granted that are really very useful, in that being able to have everything all in one place on your phone that you can share with a bridesmaid or your groom or your parents or so, and that is all encompassing. It's something that someone can easily take for granted, but it's something that saves a lot, is very convenient, and then you have it for life because you have that file saved forever. You can always return and say, "What was that menu we had again? Do you remember what they?" And it's all there as a keepsake. That's very interesting. Very nice. So we have learned quite a number of things that make you unique to your clients. So thank you so much for that. So, folks, we have been talking with Denise Sarpong Johnson, and she is owner of Umber Bride and Groom and Events. And we are happy to have her. Thank you so much, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, Jillian.
You're very welcome.